the Eternal Realms, a sprawling land covered in dense forests and rolling mountains, and scattered throughout the natural places of this world can be found a multitude of people who over the course of eons have formed together and have created mighty empires. The blood of this world now flows to the beat of trade and war. But this was not always the case, for you see, in ages past, before the civilized people began to claim this world as their own, the Eternal Realms was a vast natural place where unknowable and quite forgotten powers held sway. But with the rise of the thinking peoples of this world, the hold of those ancient powers has greatly diminished, and the memory of their might has faded from the minds of dwarves, men, and goblins alike. Such folly. For those ancient powers never ceased to be, and their power certainly has not diminished, not in the slightest. The ageless entities that breathe life into this world are known as Titans, and never far have they strayed from their throne, safe in the knowledge that in an instant they could resume their dominion over the Eternal Realms. The mountain titan Julasum Lesnogana Botiumsi has come, an enormous one-eyed viper. It has a spiral shell and it has an austere look about it. Beware its poisonous bite. Oh boy, this could get interesting. A mountain titan, which is pretty much the same as a forgotten beast, except as you can see it's up on the surface here, which does cause some problems. But before we get to those problems, I would like to point out that the Eternal Realms is currently enduring an age known as the Age of Bronze Colossus and Mountain Titan, which is a time when the Bronze Colossus Athaka Studoil, the warrior of adventuring, and the Mountain Titan Julasum Forest Wax, the Cobalt Chance, were the only great powers in the world. So this titan here, Julasum, is one of the two creatures that give this world its current age, which is very fascinating. Also, it should be noted that Julasum has been quite active in the world, unlike any of the forgotten beasts that we've seen so far. Just going down the line here, you can see that Julasum has attacked many different individuals in different civilizations as well. All of them actually. Dwarves, humans, goblins, and even the elves when they were still around. The creature has 49 notable kills, which I'm sure had an impact on this world in some ways, and it's also had 118 other kills. And also it should be noted that this creature is worshipped by many people as well, as sort of a godlike entity, whose related spheres include nature, mountains, minerals, metals, caverns, and animals, which goes along very well with the knowledge that this creature helped to possibly give birth to this world. I suppose we should be grateful to this beast. However, speaking from a purely dwarven perspective, the world is birthed, and so we have no further use for you, Titan. Now then. The game is paused, and taking a quick look up here at the surface, I don't see any dwarves about right at the moment, which is very lucky. Because recently we've had dwarves all over the Tower of Memories trying to get that project done. Yeah, I don't see anybody out here, thankfully. However, it does seem like we have a couple of dwarves trying to head up to the surface right at the moment, and so we're gonna have to stop that very quickly. And so dwarves, let's get to the meeting hall, because as soon as we unpause the game, that Titan is going to barrel straight in. I can almost guarantee it. Now back over here, let's follow this creature for a bit and just see what it does. Alright, sure enough it is moving straight in towards the entry hall. Okay, and there are no dwarves up here on the surface, which is very good. Alright, the creature's incoming, and the dwarves that were in the hallway are now out of harm's way. Fantastic. And so I'm going to try to pull this lever down here real quick before that Titan gets into the fortress, just in an attempt to close up the gates and try to get us some extra time. And it's taken a while. Yeah, too long, actually. Damn it. Well, how about this other lever here? Someone want to come down and pull that just real quick? Real quick. Like right now. Okay. Come on, real quick. Real quick. No such luck. Okay, well, that's, something right there. Pause the game. Okay, well, just taking a look at this current scene here. There are vampires all over the place down here, and it seems like the Titan has spotted them and is moving in, which is terrible. Now I'm not too sure what the best course of action would be, but I do know the one that I'm going to take,
And I'm going to take all of the squads, like actually all of them, and we're going to send them in. Every single dwarf in the fortress, which might seem a bit foolish, but I'll also note too that I'm pretty sure every dwarf in the fortress is armed at this point, with silver maces and hammers and even some stuff dropped by the goblins. So at least we have that going for us. We're going to lose dwarves here. Definitely. And besides, there is no way these guys down here are getting away from this titan. We can't avoid this fight. And so, taking things one step at a time, let's see how this goes. Julasum is moving in towards Datan, one of our new recruits, who is wounded already, badly. Yeah, it looks like he lost a leg and some teeth too. And he has died. That was very quick. And it looks like Julasum is pausing after that combat, just watching as this horde of vampires moves in from the east. Oh, but it's moving again, down towards the south, towards Doran, one of our animal trainers, equipped with a silver warhammer. Ooh, oh man, who did not stand a chance. Yeah, it looks like Julasum got about a dozen hits in before Doran could even do anything, but then unfortunately died. Oh no, I still have the game paused here, but this dwarf right down here is Irontongue, our fortress's bookkeeper and manager, and one of the first vampires. Remember that he's the one who killed that first forgotten beast that we fought here in the fortress, but in doing so he took some serious damage, and as such he is currently equipped with a mace and a crutch. I don't see this going so well. Good luck, Irontongue. Alright, the Titan is moving straight in. They are engaged. Seeing some blood already. Oh yeah, Irontongue has taken a couple of hits. Hang in there, dude. Although we do have another dwarf moving in as well, Katin, a new migrant who's equipped with no weapons or armor, but who seems to be keeping the Titan off of Irontongue, which is great. Brave fool. Ooh, something's happening here. Well, it looks like Irontongue is managing to bite the Titan, while the recruit tries to punch the heck out of it. That being said, Irontongue is not doing well at this point. In fact, his left upper arm is spraying blood at the moment, and he is bleeding from many other wounds as well. Not good. Come on, Irontongue. You gotta hang in there, buddy. Ooh, this is a bad situation. I'll tell ya. Ah, damn it. Irontongue was just finished. Lost too much damn blood. Oh, another dwarf went down just there. Ubble, our militia captain. That does not bode well. And now we have a wave of vampires coming in from the north. Come on, you guys, pile on. We have to take down this beast, who is now enraged, which is extremely bad news. Get in here, you dwarves. Oh no, dwarves are falling left and right. Everyone's panicked. We have a couple of war boars in the mix now, although I'm sure they're not helping that much. Alright, the beast is still enraged, a bit wounded, but it does look like we're starting to make some decisive hits on the beast. Oh yeah, it's bleeding all over the place. Come on, dwarves, keep fighting. Yeah, they're piling on. Still at it. The beast is thrashing about, still enraged. Oh, okay, there we go. Julasum has fallen. Thankfully. Damn, that was rough. Too damn rough. We lost 9 dwarves in the fighting, including Irontongue, our fortress's longtime manager and bookkeeper, and one of the first 3 Nazusheb in the fortress. Damn it all, that's so ugly. Alright, well, at least that beast is taken care of, and we have to get this mess cleaned up ASAP. Oh, wow, is that ever bad? That is so bad. Losing dwarves like that. 9 of them. In the history of Honeystoker, we've never lost so many dwarves in a single event like that. Ever, actually. Ridiculous. In fact, we were so ill-prepared for it that all of the coffins in our tomb are now filled up, and I had to queue up some new ones to be made. And we have to get that done very quickly too, because as you would expect, if dwarves are seeing dead bodies all over the place on a daily basis, they're going to very quickly get extremely upset, and we can't have that. Not at all. In fact, if you have a look over here at the barracks, you can see there are 5 very upset dwarves in here already. Although one of them is Beans, and I do take his depression with a grain of salt these days, the big baby. But this is not good at all. And I'm almost wondering if we should have like an emergency autumn festival, just to help let people simmer down a bit, you know? I think we're going to do that actually, just to be safe, cause you know, I'm spooked. I'm legit spooked. Yeah, here we go, dwarves. And it's hard to say how long I'm going to keep this going for, really. Maybe just like a month or so? Just enough time to make sure everybody gets a nice drink in them, perhaps. Hopefully that'll help things out a bit. Ugh, yeah, that was seriously ugly, huh? 9 dwarves, including Iron Tongue. Oh, but would you look here? The world has passed into the age of the Bronze Colossus, the one remaining giant threat up here on the surface. The birth of a new age. Really though. And here we have yet another vile force of darkness. It seems the goblins sensed our weakness and are moving in to take advantage. Fantastic. Well, we're certainly not in the mood this time, goblins. I'll tell you that much. Well, having a look here, the siege seems very similar to that last one, from initial glances anyways. A whole bunch of dwarven slaves and a human as well, all armed and armored, ready to go. Well, you're in for it, you bastards. Alright, now we're just gonna follow these guys for a second and see what happens. Curious to see how big this siege is going to be. And I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit bigger than that last one. A whole bunch of dwarves this time. A lot of dwarves. Wow. In fact, there aren't even any goblins yet. Well, there's one. And a couple more, but mostly dwarves. Well, it certainly seems like we have a nice big siege this time, so I think the spike trap is going to work a little bit better. Certainly hoping anyways, because we can't afford to fight these guys. Definitely not going to happen. Yeah, wow, actually we do have a few more invaders than that last time, where I think we had 46 or something like that. This time it's 120 invaders. Fearsome. But not that fearsome. Now, if it looks like they're getting too spread out, I might try to get cute with these gates up here just to try to get them bunched up a bit more, but we'll see what happens. They are fairly densely packed at the moment. Fairly. And our object is to have enough of them die in that tunnel to make the rest flee. That way we won't have to get hands-on. Alright, looks like they're almost to the entry hall, and so I'm going to have dwarves come down here and pull all 3 of these levers here to close up our entry hall entirely, including the trap hall. Very good, thank you. And yes, there we go. Although it does look like a dwarf made it into our entry hall. That's fine though, no worries. Now watching these guys up on the surface, they are still moving in, although a bit more tentative. There we go, come on you guys. Move on up, get real close. Was hoping that this long column would get grouped up at the closed gate and then I could reopen the trap hall. But, I'm not sure if that's something we could really hope for. Although it's not looking too bad. You know what, I think I'm gonna open it up. If someone could open the trap hall, please. There we are, thank you. Ooh, hey now, little bit of a problem here. It looks like a group of those dwarves has climbed up onto our wall, and a few of them are now stuck in traps, which is great. But there are some more incoming too, including a couple of bow dwarves, which isn't fantastic news. Now, I just went about setting it so that the Autumn Festival burrow does not include the bottom of the pit, so hopefully dwarves won't go getting shot. Although we do have another problem here because that one dwarf who was stuck in our entry hall now has access to our fortress. But it looks like they're being an idiot and going back towards the spike hall, which is great. Never mind. Oh, and fantastic, looks like these dwarves who are heading towards the wall are going back towards the entry hall now. And a lot of them are too, fantastic. Let's see how this goes. I feel like it's going to be a lot better than it has been. It just has to be, really. Okay, there we go, our first skewering. And the second. Keep it up, trap hall. It looks like some of the invaders have paused, probably realizing the predicament. Bunch of morons. Oh, and damn it, looks like some dwarves have gotten through the bottom. That is a shame right there. It seems like for some reason this pressure plate takes a long time to reset. I don't remember it being like that in the past, but oh well. I guess we should really start putting some spikes down this way too. That would certainly be helpful, because these guys are making their way for the fortress as we speak. Not really a problem because we'll just close up this gate here. Thank you. And now we don't even have to worry about it. We can just safely watch as the invaders bumble through the spike hall, getting skewered again and again and again. Ooh, yeah, fantastic. Having a look here, 30 invaders have already been dealt with, so that's not terrible. We've only just gotten started too. Oh, I don't envy you bastards, certainly. That is rough. These poor dwarves up here at the entry hall, they can hear the mechanical cogs whirring, the spikes being jammed into dwarven bodies, the blood-curdling shrieks. Yeah, they know something's going on down there. Bunch of cowards, come on in. Something's happened to your comrades. They need your help. Alright, well, looking back down here to the spike hall, it seems things have settled a bit. There are no more dwarves down here. Attacking dwarves, that is. Except for, well, if you look down this way here, at the southern end of the spike hall, we've carved out a new area, and this was intended to be a corpse storage area. And down at the south end of this room, you can see a minecart track that is intended to haul corpses down towards the south, where there is a channel, which will hopefully at some point lead to the magma, when we have it placed under our bridge. That'd be a nice corpse disposal area. But anyways, you can see that some of the attackers made their way down here, and so I'm not looking to open up the way to the fortress quite yet. We're gonna have to wait for these guys to clear out, or at least get a bit farther away. just to be safe. I am also keeping half an eye on these guys up on the surface, who have seemed to kind of spread out in a bunch of small groups, just all over the swamp now, which is going to make things a bit difficult, I believe. And I'm also keeping eyes on our wall over here too. There is still a ramp that leads up to the top of it, but it doesn't look like anybody's heading towards it yet, which is just fantastic because that is not trouble we need right there. But indeed, trouble comes in many forms to the lives of dwarves. Long have they roamed the narrow, fungus-choked tunnels beneath our feet, but no longer are they content to gnaw on the earth's bones. Since time's birth they have been forgotten, but no longer is that to be the case. The forgotten beast Lamifo Sophie Puslavina Vathiarani has come. A huge, skinless porcupine. It has 2 narrow tails and it belches and croaks. Beware its poisonous sting. Just what we need. Another damn forgotten beast. Could we catch a break? Damn, I'll tell you, this entire episode so far. First we have a titan, and then a siege immediately afterwards, and now a forgotten beast. Well, I would love to say it's just a poisonous sting, but that titan had a poisonous bite, and that causes more trouble than anything so far. So I'm not getting my hopes up. Now, just having a look here, the creature appears to be down in the 3rd cavern layer, just kind of nestled amongst these nether caps over in the western caverns. Alright, and having a look up, it does appear the creature can access our fortress, which isn't great. I'm thinking it will take a bit for that creature to amble up this ramp towards our fortress, if that's even what it intends on doing. Sometimes they do stand around for a while, and if the creature does move up from the 3rd cavern layer, it will access the quartzite caverns, which isn't splendid. Oh, but you know, we could close up this bridge right here. That would solve our problems immediately. We would just have to get a dwarf down here ASAP. Yeah, you know what? I think we could do that. And I'm sure a few of you have noticed there's a bridge over here as well, that we could potentially close and keep the porcupine down underground. But it's not currently linked up to a lever, and besides that, there's not even a ceiling on this little enclosure here, which is seriously foolish of me, but what can I say, I'm a fool. Back up in the fortress, and it does look like a dwarf is headed down to pull that lever. Fantastic. Make it speedy too, we don't have much time to waste. And having another look at our entry area here, there are still a couple of dwarves in here, but just a couple. Alright, that's not bad. Still can't open up the fortress, which stinks. And up on the very surface, you can see those groups of dwarves are still milling about trying to find a way into the fortress, admiring our corpse pile. That's what happens, you bastards. And now back down to the 3rd cavern layer, we can see the porcupine, Lamifo, who does not seem to be headed directly towards the fortress at all. Yeah, at the moment it just kind of seems to be wandering about down here, climbing up walls and mushrooms, jumping around like an idiot. I thought it could access our fortress, but maybe not. Well, that works for us, I suppose. Although I will be keeping an eye on this thing. I'm pretty sure it can get to our fortress. However, in any event, that lower gate is now closed, so there's no way that beast can sneak up on us. Checking back in on our dwarves now, and I wish I could say things were going better. Not seeing many down arrows. We have the 3 here that I can currently see in the meeting hall, and then 8 or so more up here in the temples. Ugh, that's no good. Well, gonna be keeping an eye on them, I suppose. Although I'm not feeling too positive about this predicament. Not at all. Especially considering our captain of the guard has gone stark raving mad, and as such has stripped off all of his clothing and is now wandering about the fortress, kinda just babbling and stuff, you know. Typical dwarven insanity. Man, you dwarves are delicate, I'll tell you. Anywho, having a look over at the trap hall once more, and it seems to have been cleared out. Okay. So let's open up the way once more, see if we can't finish up this siege. If someone could please pull this lever, and thank you very much. And the main gate is open once more, and the siegers are turning back towards the fortress ever so slowly. I'm sure they heard the gate reopening, and are now moving in to check it out. They just never learn. There's about 60 of them left, about half the original siege. And I'm not sure what the exact percentages of them that have to be killed in order for the rest to run away. But we gotta be getting close, right? Alright, take 2. Here they come. Just slowly now. You know, I think this whole trap would actually work a lot better if I just put a wall up here next to the pressure plate, which would force them to walk directly over it every single time. Because at this point, the only way they're stepping on that pressure plate is if 2 of them try to round that corner at the same exact time, which is not very effective at all. Yeah, it's still filing down. Spikes are retracted though. But at this point, a few dwarves have already made it past all of the spikes and are now heading directly towards the fortress. And so I guess we'll just try to get this gate closed up again real quick. Oh, but not quick enough. Ooh, damn it. Okay, we have a dwarf invader in our fortress now. Which, isn't the best of news, certainly. Hoping this gate gets closed up. And it is. Okay, good. And now we just gotta take care of these dwarves out here, which shouldn't be a big deal. There's only 2 of them. And I'm gonna send all the vampires in to attack them. Okay, one of them's dead. And... okay, they're both dead. Ugh, and all these other dwarves over here are panicked. You guys really gotta toughen up, huh? Nobody even died with this one. What's the problem? Oh, but hey, look at that. I guess with that, the siege is over. You bunch of rat bastards. That's what you get. Well, admittedly, that trap hall was a bit finicky this time, as it has been, but we were able to repel that siege without taking a single casualty, which, in my book, is a success. And so, dwarves, I suppose our little rest period is over now, and we should really get back to work, even though I really wish you guys were feeling better. Ugh, we have so many things to attend to now. This trap hall mess for one. I don't particularly want the dwarves hanging out in this area at all, just because, there's corpses all over the place, and that's gonna get people fairly upset. But I guess I don't really know what we should do with this area. I'll tell you what, our whole magma thing certainly is not all set. And so just up here at the entrance, I'm gonna build a bridge and a lever. And I'm gonna try to get all these corpses crushed. Which sounds disgusting, I know, but it will take care of the problem of corpses being all over the place. It's something we're gonna have to do for now. Don't really have much of a choice. Taking another look down in the caverns here just real quick, and it looks like Lamifo, our skinless porcupine friend, is locked over in this section of caverns. Pretty sure anyways, he has not moved from this area, and so I think we'll open up this level again. It seems safe to me. We do still have plenty of work to do down here. Yeah, we just got that gate open, and the beast is still content down in this cavern. There must just be trees in its way. We'll have to be careful not to cut them down or get too close to the thing. Shouldn't be a problem though. In other news, it looks like Domas Page Power, Moses' traveling companion, is throwing yet another tantrum. And I'll tell you what, I've had about enough of this guy. He's already thrown one this episode, and he was beaten because of it. And at this point, I don't think his mood's going to be improving. And so, my friend, I'm afraid you found yourself a new home down here, in one of our very spacious asylum stalagmites. Not something I wanted to do. Not at all. But we have no choice. Especially these days. We have to keep things as calm as possible. Good luck, my friend. Speaking of our efforts to keep the dwarves happy, you can see over in the spike hall this way, there is quite a stink building up, and as I had already said, I'm going to avoid letting the dwarves do anything over there for now, just because it's a bit, traumatizing. And I'm actually going to lock up that trap hall, just to make sure nobody wanders in there on accident. I'm pretty sure after the bodies rot enough, they stop putting off that stink. I'm not 100% on that, but we'll see what happens. Really trying my best to keep these guys happy. Speaking of which, something else I'm trying over here is you can see throughout the hallways I've placed some pedestals. And I noticed that dwarves actually get pretty happy displaying items on pedestals. Not actually viewing the items, which I find strange, but hey, if that's floating their boats, then let's display some items, what do you say? And nothing special either. We have a bunch of crafts in the fortress, so I figured we could throw some figurines up there, possibly some earrings. That sort of stuff, And you can place multiple items on every pedestal too. So I'll place a bunch on each of them. That way the dwarves can have some fun kind of arranging them, making a nice little setup. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but what the hell, right? Certainly couldn't hurt. And I'll just give them a second to get those items in place and see if it did anything. I feel like it's gotta help a little bit. Yep, there we go. You can see a bunch of those items in place now, fantastic. Alright, we can see Urist here feels satisfied after putting a piece on display.
I put a piece on display. That was satisfying.
Oh, and Tun as well.
I put a piece on display. That was satisfying.
And even Attis over here feels satisfied.
Hard work is a true sign of character.
Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. You just put an item on a pedestal. Not sure if that qualifies as hard work. But yeah, hey, it's something, right? Better than nothing. Well, would you have a look at that? The humans from Anthath Thruni have arrived. That is great. We'll have to do some serious trading.
Hello and well met, Atir. It's always a pleasure to see the walls of Honeystoker standing strong. Now then, there is much to discuss. That being said, there is no news to report, and in fact, most of my talking will be very small indeed. Now then, let's get into it. Lately, we've been preparing for the prickleberry harvest. It's always such a glorious time. There'll be prickleberry wine, prickleberry juice, prickleberry roasts, oh, and prickleberry jelly. That's my favorite.
Well, that's all terribly boring. No news is good news, I suppose. And we'll just do a bit of trading here. Nothing too special. Mostly just getting rid of a bunch of crap, tattered clothing, and actually a lot of honeycombs as well. We've kind of had them building up. So, what the hell? We'll trade them. And we didn't get anything real great from that either. Some copper spears and some other metal items we could melt down. But not much else. Alright, now that that's over, I suppose it's time to get back to work here in the fortress. Glancing over this way to the spike hall, it does look like that stink has dissipated, which is good, I guess. And our trash disposal bridge is all set as well, so I suppose we could start taking care of these corpses. Although, I guess I am a little hesitant. There are still quite a few upset dwarves in the fortress, which is certainly not great. But you gotta do what you gotta do, right? And just in an attempt to try to speed up the process, I did forbid all of the items in this hallway except for the corpses, just hoping to minimize the time the dwarves will have to spend around all this carnage here. And yes, it does seem to be going fairly quickly too, which is nice. Alright, and there we go. And you know what, before it gets any worse, I think we'll take care of this dump pile up in the woods too. This is a serious mess and we can't let it get out of hand. No dwarf wants to see corpses all over the place. That's for damn sure. And that'll about do it right there. Now if somebody could pull this lever here, that'd be just fantastic. There we are. And problem solved. No more corpses. And with that, the rest of the stuff in this hallway could be sorted out safely. We could start smashing those various corpse pieces, the less offensive ones, teeth and various body parts, and all of the metal gear, the goblin stuff, we're going to get melted down, just as quick as we can. I am very excited to eventually get magma here in the fortress, because that'll mean we don't have to rely on charcoal anymore. That stuff is a pain in the butt to make. Soon. Yeah, you know, actually having a look here, it looks like all of our nethercap pipes are finished. And I think there ended up being like 118 of them, which is no small feat. But now we have to get to work on the corkscrews. So we're about halfway done, which is extremely exciting. But really, honestly, at this point, I'm hoping we make it that far. Dwarves get so traumatized incredibly easily. And I'm seeing more and more upset faces out there, which is terrible. I mean, I guess I wouldn't totally blame the guys. I know personally, I would be pretty traumatized if I witnessed a dwarf get crushed by a bridge or smashed by a mountain titan. And I suppose while we're on that subject, I should point out these new statues here. Yes, as you can see, we now have 4 copper memorial statues out here in our entryway. There are 2 new ones here to accompany Rith and Reg, our fortress's founders. Up to the north, you can see a statue of Stinger Kirinal, the dwarf who was smashed by that bridge, and she is striking a menacing pose, which is something she frequently did in life. And then down to the south here, you can see another statue. This one is, of course, of Iron Tongue, and the statue depicts him holding a scroll, which he is contemplating. You poor, poor dwarves. All of you. And the others too, for that matter. Everyone we've lost. The number seems to rise daily at this point. One dwarf in particular I worry a lot about is Atyr, who we don't really look in on very often nowadays. She is still doing fine, mentally, for the most part. Here we can see her up in the temple of Ifin, dwarven goddess of nature, meditating on plants. Yeah, she's doing fairly well. We can see here that she does have a few good thoughts, and she's currently enraptured while communing with Ifin, but it also looks like she was frustrated dwelling upon suffering a major injury, having her hand taken off by that first forgotten beast there. And then she also has a few negative thoughts due to wearing old clothing, which I have been trying to remedy for a while now. We have a ton of leather and spider silk cloth, but we can only do so much. I'm really trying. Also, I will note while we're here that her right ear is mangled beyond recognition. Which is an injury she received while fighting that titan. She's lucky she just got away with that. That could have been real ugly. Also, something else I will note here is that in her entire time here in the fortress, she's never made a friend other than Iron Tongue. And I was really afraid that his loss would greatly affect her. Much worse than it seems to have anyways. It's pretty interesting because they became friends almost immediately after becoming locked in the Tower of Memories. Looks like they had a bit more in common than just being vampires, huh? Yeah, she's a tough dwarf with a great head on her shoulders. Couldn't ask for a better leader. We got lucky, I guess. And in times like these, I am damn glad we have a leader like her. Anyways, you bearded bastards, bit of a traumatizing episode there. We had our first big loss of 9 dwarves, including Iron Tongue, which I'm still trying my best to get over. And in addition to that, we also faced off against the largest goblin siege that we've seen here so far. And we were thankfully very lucky, suffering no casualties. But hopefully soon after we have that magma flowing, we won't have to worry about things like that anymore. And that's the hope anyways. I suppose we'll see what happens. At this point, I'm really just hoping we can survive. Anyways, as always, I deeply thank you for watching, and I truly hope you enjoyed yourself. Here ends the Kruggsmash, Honeystoker. And until next time, you bearded bastards. Hello, you bastards, and how's it going? Popping in here at the end of the episode to show off some more fantastic fan artwork. Because the overwhelming majority of you folks said I should be doing this, and I have to agree. It's really a damn shame I haven't been. So many talented people out there. Unbelievable, really. Anywho, let's have a look at our first piece of the day. A piece that appears to be untitled, but which depicts Rith, the expedition leader that led us here to Honeystoker, as well as his partner, Reg, better known as Waxy. And it was done by a Wallace spider. And unfortunately, I'm sure you remember, but both of these poor bastards were lost to us many, many years ago now, due to a bit of a depression, although it might be for the best. You know they couldn't handle things in the fort nowadays. But anyways, would you take a look at this piece? I really get a kick out of these colors here. Just so pale and rosy, with that pinkish hue to everything. Extremely creative. And those big ol' eyes too. Just goddamn adorable, really. We have Reg here telling Rith that it's all gonna be okay, but I guess even a kind talking to didn't help the guy in the end. Dwarf Fortress, gotta love it, so many little stories. Wonderful work, Wallace Spider. Truly appreciated. Anywho, moving on to our next piece. A piece done by Snorri, and that depicts Moses and Ak in their early days. And I believe Moses is outlining some grand plans to Ak, and Ak maybe isn't so sure. Couldn't blame the guy. You know, I think the thing that caught me most off guard about this piece is that the style looks so similar to mine. It's kind of shocking, really. You got those dark outlines there, and then the coloring, which looks similar to the crayons, but I have a feeling it's colored pencils, just because of how smooth it looks. Very nice, I love it. And something else I really like is Ak's boots over here. I don't know, I think it's just the perspective. Just looks really cool to me. Oh, and even the helmet here, very cool. It shows the gray parrots of the Torment of Witches. Oh, and Moses' hand, too. I really like that angle. Well captured, Snorri. A fantastic job. Much appreciated. And there we have it. 2 more fantastic pieces of fan artwork. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's some talented people out there, and I hope you guys out there enjoyed seeing their work as much as I did. Anywho, I'll be heading out now. Oh, but before I go, I will mention that if you want to send me artwork, you could just send it straight to my email. Probably the most straightforward way. It's kruggsmash@gmail.com. Anywho, heading out, thank you for watching. You're all a bunch of beautiful bastards, and until next time.